place. That's why, again, Jesus got into such a place where he began to synchronize his power with God, himself with God. So that when he show up in a place, immediately things happen. He can go into a dead man's tomb and call him forth because he was synchronized with God. And when we synchronize ourselves with the plan and the purpose of God, we can create whatever. As long as it's not in the place where it begins to destroy individuals or try to force something on somebody, because that's not our responsibility. Not to try to force what we believe on somebody, not to try to force religion on somebody. That's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to be light. And in the presence of light, more light show up. That's all Jesus did. He just became who he was. That's why he said, I am the light. I am the way. And when he showed up in a place, things happen. He can come to a place and again and just speak one word and it happens. Why we have to spend so much time and so much energy is simply because we're fighting through some stuff. So again, which one of our teachers got the mic? Whoever want to read, start with the introduction. But again, as we begin to read, so again, if a word stand out to you, it's a reason. Write it down. Write it down. You know what I'm saying? And let us look at it. Because what it may mean to one may not mean to another. But let us look at it. Let us digest it. Because we are all created by the very same essence, the very same attributes. So we'll start off with the introduction.
Introduction. The nature of the laws. The dictionary defines law as something regarded as having binding force or effect.
Okay, let's stop right there. It's what now? It defines it as having binding force or effect. So guess what? As a divine force that the effect is you may be hurt and you may not, but it has an effect. Okay.
It is vital to understand that every law is a realization of the existence of intangible yet effective power. Take the law of gravity, for instance. We can't see it, we can't feel it, but it exists. And its existence affects every person present on the planet.
Every person. That means it don't discriminate. You understand? So that's why we have to understand that the laws of God, the laws of his universe do not discriminate. While we sitting around trying to, well, they discriminate against me, they can't discriminate against you if you walk in who God called you to walk in. You know, because the law will work for you or they'll work against you. So let us go on and look at this word, intangible.
Intangible. The 12 laws are the realization of such forces that exist and affect every being on the planet. Yet they are intangible and invisible. They can't be touched or felt.
Now, are you on this planet? That's the question I need to ask. Are you on this planet? So guess what? Who it affect? Every person that's on this planet. Now, if you may not be on this planet, you may be on another planet, but guess what? It affects every person on this planet because it's intangible. Meaning you can't see it, you can't just go in with, but it's there. And they all around us. Go ahead. If y'all have a question, a comment, it's okay. This is what we are here for. Don't be afraid. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect me. It's going to affect us corporately, collectively. But it's going to affect you most so personally. And it's going to affect our young people if they don't walk in it. Go ahead.
Boundless. The 12 laws of the universe are boundless. They are not bound to a particular area or stopped by any country's border. They exist everywhere, just like air.
Now let us really look at that. They are what? So that means your zip code don't really matter. Where you came from don't really matter. So we taking all the excuses, that's why it said it's attributes, so that nobody can have an excuse. We're taking all the excuses away. We have no reason to walk in lack. We have no reason to walk in poverty. We have no reason to walk in sickness or disease. Not that we don't, but we have no reason simply because God has already placed his laws in the earth. I was thinking, we was in prayer last night, and I was thinking, okay, when Jesus healed people, where did this sickness come from? Because God didn't create it. Who created it? You know what I'm saying? Because even when you look at the Old Testament, when the Bible said they all came out of Egypt, when they came out of Egypt, they was all, what it said, was no sick one named among them. They was wealthy. So where did this sickness come from after they got in the wilderness? If they all came out healthy, somewhere they violated something, and it came upon them. But then God, in his infinite love and his infinite mercy, he gave them a way out. So it's boundless. Do you know what boundless means? You know, we remember we used to sing that song, Sister Dora. No limits, no boundaries. I see what? Where? So why we not? We sung it and we danced on it, but we never really walked in it because we didn't understand it, because it just became a fad. But it's all around us. That's why Jesus was able to take 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, because he walked in the increase, the timeless, boundless, intangible things of God. And he's going to tell us these works you should do. And what? Greater works than these. Well, he had to be operating through some universal law that God had put in place. I'm just saying. I'm not here to change your belief, but I'm just saying he had to walk in something that God had placed in his authority, and he used it. And he didn't ask God. He said, Father, I thank you that you hear me. So he didn't just go around saying anything, because he knew that the power he carried, and he knew it was so potent. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, she get a mic.
Oh, I was just wondering how you hear all these things about Jesus and how he walked, and you believe it, you know it, you see the results. But how do you, as an individual, actually tap into that source to get, for that power?
It's a scripture that says you have to first believe God is. And then you got to believe that he's a rewarder. So therefore, we have to come to the realization that that is for me. And when I come to the realization that this is for me, guess what? I don't care what nobody else say. I don't care what nobody else think. I don't care how nobody else feel. I'm going to begin to walk in this. You know what I'm saying? You may not see the physical manifestation that Jesus seen at the time because he walked in a certain dimension. But that don't mean that we're not in a place that we can get to that place. But the first thing we got to realize, this is for me. Because most of the time we thought it was we'll say it's for the preacher. We'll say it's for the prophet. We'll say it's for certain people. That's why you hear people say, pray for me because I know you can get a prayer through. So that means they thought it was for somebody else, but they never accepted it for themselves. So now we depending on certain individuals to do it. But what happens? Once you get to that place and then you have to get ready to go higher. You know what I'm saying? When you get ready to go higher, what happens then? Because that worked in that dimension. You're not in that dimension no more. The church is the only place in organization-wide that we don't evolve. We don't evolve. We're afraid to evolve. When in God's creation, even the butterfly go through an evolution. That's a reason. But we don't want to evolve because guess what? We are familiar with this. It's not that you're leaving the foundational thing, you're leaving the elementary things. And you're going on to a spiritual maturity. Because you'll never be able to leave that part because you're in God as one. But we never realize that we are one. So anything else? Anyone else? Because that's what it said. The laws are the realization. Once you realize something, you can walk in. As long as you're not aware of something, you can't walk in it. Even though it's there, even though it's for us, we can't walk in it because we're not aware of it. You can have money in your bank account and not be aware of it. You can't use it. They got this thing out there, I think it's with money. Lost money is kind of like lost money or something. And they got money out there, it can have your name on it. But if you're not aware of it, it's just out there. And you can be struggling in finances, and you can have millions of dollars out there with your name on it. But if you're not aware of it, you won't walk in it. And many things, again, God said, I have given you great and precious promises. I have placed this and walk in it. Go ahead.
Timeless. The 12 laws are timeless. They have always been, they are, and they will always be. It is now that there has been a realization of their existence.
Now, there has been a realization of their existence. They have always been, they will always be, and what they now exist. So we're in the now. And once we realize that, what it does, it begins to open. Remember, I use that example all the time. Again, the sun can be outside, shining, bright. But you in a house with your curtains or your blinds closed. Even though the sun is out there, shining, waiting on you to open up. Once you open it, if you open that curtain just a little bit, or just a little light gonna come in. But the more and more you allow that curtain or that blind to open, the more and more light can come in. Remember, even with the principle with the woman that had the vessels, as long as she had empty vessels, the oil flowed. When the vessels that she didn't have no more, the oil stopped for her. The time when you don't have no more room to grow, it stops for you and you just start existing. And that's what we have done when I say at large in the church, not just this physical body, but at church we just exist, looking for something to pass off time. You have that picture just look at that picture. Somebody tell me what that picture really is saying to them.
There's so much more when you go deeper.
Absolutely. It's someone else.
On the surface. Only seeing on the surface.
Don't see. Yeah, because if you look at the surface, you only see a small amount, but there's a large amount that you don't see that's working underneath.
What else? Absolutely.
There's more than meets the eye.
More than meet the eye. And what else? Because you heard that saying, you just scratched the surface. We just scratched the surface. There's so much depth in each one of us that we haven't seen yet, that we haven't tapped yet. That's why even when the Titanic, it seen the tip of the iceberg, he didn't know how big it was on the bottom. You don't know, but the root goes deep. Likewise, if we don't or we didn't do some things that we needed to do in life coming up, we don't know how deep that root is. We see the things on the surface, but the root is what we are connected to. I learned so much from the young people, the young kids, pacing them in different ones, because you don't have to teach them nothing. They're going to be self-taught. Only thing they got to do is make sure they stay within your environment. And if they stay within your environment, they're going to absorb that environment. It's just like your skin is your biggest part that you can absorb stuff through your skin. Guess what? Their spirit, it absorbs things. And then you wonder why they are doing and acting the way they're acting, simply because they absorb